A group of Coloradans now have a new type of protection with a brand new state law that just took effect today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles.
And I'm Kim Christensen. SB 189 adds transgender identity to Colorado's bias-motivated crimes and harassment laws. 9 News reporter Jaleesa Zari joins us now. And Jaleesa, this is something that community has really been fighting for.
Yeah, Kim and Jenny, gender identity is already seen as a protected class federally, but statewide that has not been the case. And statistics show cases of gender identity hate crimes here in Colorado are continuing to rise.
History.
Some have spent years searching for the right solution.
Gonna go over here.
Dr. Jax Gonzalez is one of those people that believes today is a bipartisan win.
Because Matt Soper's on it.
But not a total victory.
The act adds transgender identity to the classes identified in bias-motivated crimes and harassment.
Effective today, hurting, harassing, or intimidating a person because of their transgender identity is considered a bias-motivated crime under Colorado state law.
It is definitely an identifier of progress that we value and care about trans Coloradans, and that those identities are a protected class here in Colorado.
Gonzalez is part of One Colorado, an organization fighting for the rights of the LGBTQ community. In Colorado, gender identity hate crimes are on the rise. According to data collected by the FBI, Colorado has seen a steady increase in hate crimes related to gender identity, with 20 reported in 2022. That doesn't include the ones that go unreported.
We know that criminalization isn't going to end hate crimes. That really takes education and cultural shifts, and explicitly with this recent surge in the last 4 years of anti-trans legislation, it's really important that Colorado continues to be the leader in that arena.
Gonzalez believes this is not the complete answer, but they know no one can get to a solution without progress.
While it's not the end goal of liberation, it is a step in the direction where we can continue to protect transgender Coloradans.
Gonzalez says trans women of color are often the target of bias-motivated crimes. According to a recent report done by the Human Rights Campaign, of the 33 trans individuals killed in the United States last year, 90% of them were people of color. Jaleesa Zari, 9 News.
That alone is pretty troubling, just to hear that. You know, as they said, just a step. This is a step.
Yeah, a lot more needs to be done.
All right, thank you, Jaleesa.
Let's turn our attention to the forecast now with a live look outside here on the very first day of July. We just wrapped up the second hottest June on record in Colorado, and we have more heat on the way this week, just in time for the 4th of July holiday, Kathy.
But today, exactly right. Not so much.
No, today wasn't that bad.
Today was cool. It felt like.
Felt good, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, mid-80s so far. We just got all of that tropical moisture feeding in, as is the case in July and August. And it was a muggy, a cloudy, but comfortable Monday afternoon. And scattered showers are certainly still possible, but travel into the high country fine at this hour. I-25 fine as well. Temperatures today, 87 in Denver, 83 in Greeley, 82 in Colorado Springs, and barely 80 in Fort Collins. The wind's a bit lighter today as well. And with those steering winds aloft light, it's taking these storms and moving them very slowly. So the storms, as they track toward the northeast, will be capable of a brief heavy downpour, a little wind, a little thunder, a little bit of lightning. So far, nothing severe. But this is something we're going to see tonight and again tomorrow. Outside of the town of Nucla in Montrose County, they have a flash flood warning because, again, slow-moving storms dropping a lot of water in a little amount of time. Severe weather threat is low. We have a kind of level 1 out of 5 risk as we move through the evening hours outside of Akron and Lyman. Denver not included in that. And again, a stray shower if we're lucky, maybe a little thunder and lightning. And then we do this all over again tomorrow. Temperatures comfortable again as we have a weak cool front that we're tracking. Temperatures this evening in the 80s, dropping into the 70s after sunset. And we are keeping an eye on the isolated storms around the area and the rain threat, the heavy rain threat. We got warm conditions with storms again Tuesday, and we're going to talk in detail about the 4th of July holiday. That's just ahead.
Developing at 4, the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office is now investigating the death of a woman found inside a burning home this morning. Happened near Watkins around 10 a.m. on Bershine Street. Smoke was coming out of the roof when deputies and firefighters arrived on scene, and while they put out the fire, crews found a woman dead inside. Investigators say she had been shot. They tell us they're not looking for a suspect. There is no threat to the public. But the sheriff's office says they can't go inside to investigate further until fire crews are done at that scene. No word on how the fire started.
An update today on the Oak Ridge fire in Pueblo County. It's now 5% contained after being at 0% since it started from lightning on June 22nd. So far, almost 1,200 acres have burned. More than 500 firefighters are on the scene. Evacuation orders are still in place in some areas, as well as pre-evacuation notices. No structures have been damaged. An update on the fire, along with what's next, will be provided for the community tonight at 6:30 in Beulah. Starting today, unincorporated areas of western Boulder County are under stage 1 fire restrictions. Dry and hot conditions are increasing fire danger this week, and the biggest restriction is no fireworks within that area.
In a long-awaited ruling today, the Supreme Court handed a partial win to former President Donald Trump. Justices decided presidents are entitled to immunity from prosecution for official conduct while in office, though they can be prosecuted for actions taken in a private capacity. The 6-3 ruling means former President Trump does have immunity for some of the conduct he's accused of on January 6th. This case is now headed back to a lower court to determine what is and what isn't still fair game for prosecution.
NBC's Alice Barr has more on the latest and how it impacts the charges against the former president.
The Supreme Court today setting a new standard for presidential immunity that effectively hands a victory to former President Trump. The High Court ruling the former president is immune from prosecution for official conduct related to his presidential duties while he was in office, though not for personal acts.
The tricky part is what is an official act and what is not an official act, and how are we going to decide it?
The case now heads to a lower court to sort that out, making it highly unlikely Mr. Trump will go to trial before the November election on charges he tried to illegally overturn the 2020 election results, culminating in the January 6 Capitol attack. The former president calling it a big win, while a senior Biden campaign advisor said the ruling doesn't change the facts, arguing that Donald Trump snapped after losing the 2020 election. Protesters on both sides reacting outside the High Court.
I think Trump's role on January 6th was the commander-in-chief.
I'm outraged that American citizens will go to the polls in November not knowing the details.
The decision grants immunity to core presidential powers, including Mr. Trump's contacts with Justice Department officials as he sought to reverse the 2020 results, and outlines presumptive immunity for acts on the outer perimeter of official duties, like his discussions with former Vice President Mike Pence. In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts writing that immunity for official conduct is necessary to safeguard an energetic, independent executive. In a blistering dissent, the 3 liberal justices said, quote, "The court effectively creates a law-free zone around the president, upsetting the status quo that has existed since the founding." Critically, the ruling not only prevents presidents from being prosecuted for any official acts, it also says that official acts cannot be used as evidence in prosecutions over unofficial acts, and that makes it very difficult to present a case against a president under any circumstances. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
In a new poll, it appears that most Americans have negative views of the Supreme Court. This poll, released last week, only 16% of U.S. adults said they have a great deal of confidence in the High Court. 40% surveyed by the Associated Press said they had hardly any confidence at all.
The Catholic Church will soon have its first millennial saint. Pope Francis and the Cardinals approved canonization for Carlo Acutis. The video gaming Italian teenager died from leukemia back in 2006. He was only 15 years old, but he was nicknamed God's influencer because he used his computer skills to spread awareness of the Catholic faith. He developed a devoted following across the world, especially among Catholic youth groups during the pandemic. The date for canonization has yet to be set. Likely will take place during the Catholic Church's Jubilee year celebrations in 2025.